What if I told you the bike that looks more powerful isn't always the one that actually feels powerful, and the one that looks smaller and less intimidating might completely surprise you the moment you actually ride it on the road? When people compare the Royal Enfield Classic 350 and the Yamaha MT-15, most of them already build an opinion in their mind before even touching the handlebars. One looks like a king, heavy, dominant, and full of presence, while the other looks sharp, lightweight, and built for speed and control. But here's the reality. Most riders only understand after spending real time on both machines. Expectation and reality are two completely different things. And if you choose a bike based only on looks or hype, there is a very real chance you might end up with something that doesn't match your riding style at all. Let's start with the Royal Enfield Classic 350, because this is the bike that creates the strongest first impression the moment you see it standing still. It has that timeless design, a round headlight, chrome detailing, and a solid metal body that instantly gives it a premium and heavy feel. This is not just a motorcycle that you ride from one place to another. It feels like something you own with pride. Sitting on the Classic 350 gives you a completely different experience compared to most modern motorcycles. The posture is upright, relaxed, and extremely comfortable, almost like the bike is designed to reduce stress rather than create excitement. The handlebars are positioned in a way that feels natural, and the seat is wide enough to give you that sofa-like comfort. At first glance, everything about this bike tells you that it is powerful, smooth, and built for long rides where you can just cruise endlessly without worrying about anything. And that's exactly what most people expect when they look at this bike. They expect strong power delivery, solid road presence, and a feeling of dominance on the road. They imagine themselves riding slowly on a highway, enjoying the sound of the engine, and getting attention from people around them. The Classic 350 creates that emotional connection even before you start the engine. But the moment you actually start riding it, the reality begins to reveal itself in a very subtle but noticeable way. The first thing you realize is that this bike is not built for speed or aggressive riding. The acceleration is smooth but not quick, and if you twist the throttle expecting a sudden burst of power, you won't get that response. Instead, the bike delivers power in a calm and controlled manner, which is great for comfort but not exciting for performance-focused riders. Another thing that becomes clear very quickly is the weight of the bike. The Classic 350 is heavy, and while that weight gives it stability on open roads, it becomes noticeable in city traffic and tight situations. Maneuvering through traffic, making quick turns, or handling the bike at low speeds requires more effort compared to lighter motorcycles. It's not something that makes the bike bad, but it's definitely something that can surprise new riders who expected an easy and responsive experience. On highways, the bike feels stable and comfortable, but in busy urban environments, it feels slower and less flexible. Then comes the everyday riding experience. The Classic 350 is not a bike that encourages you to rush. It naturally pushes you toward a slower, more relaxed riding style. You don't feel the urge to accelerate hard or take sharp turns. Instead, you find yourself cruising, enjoying the road, and taking things at your own pace. For some riders, this is exactly what they want. But for others who expected performance based on the bike's strong appearance, it can feel underwhelming. The road presence of the Classic 350 is definitely one of its strongest points. People notice it, and it stands out because of its classic design. It gives you a sense of pride when you ride it. But that presence does not translate into speed or agility. Fuel efficiency is decent, but not exceptional, and maintenance is reasonable, but not the lowest in its segment. Over time, you realize that this bike is more about the experience it provides rather than the performance it delivers. So the reality of the Royal Enfield Classic 350 is very clear. It is not a performance machine. It is a lifestyle motorcycle built for comfort, smooth cruising, and a relaxed riding experience. It's perfect for riders who value comfort and presence over speed and agility. But if your expectation was a powerful and fast machine, then the reality might feel different from what you imagined. Now let's move to the Yamaha MT-15, because this is where everything changes. The moment you look at the MT-15, it gives a completely different impression compared to the Classic 350. It looks sharp, aggressive, and modern, with a design that feels inspired by bigger performance bikes. It is smaller in size, lighter in weight, and built with a focus on agility rather than presence. Many people underestimate this bike at first because of its compact design. They assume it might not be powerful enough, or might feel too small to deliver a strong riding experience. But the moment you start riding the MT-15, your perception changes instantly. This bike feels alive in a way that surprises most riders. The throttle response is quick and sharp, and the lightweight design makes it incredibly easy to handle. In city traffic, it feels effortless to ride. You can move through gaps, take quick turns, and control the bike with very little effort. It gives you a sense of confidence and control that is hard to ignore. The bike feels fast, not because of raw power, but because of how responsive and agile it is in real-world conditions. The engine performance of the MT-15 is another area where expectations change. It may not have the same displacement as the Classic 350, but it delivers power in a much more energetic way. When you push the throttle, the bike responds instantly, especially at higher RPMs. It feels exciting, engaging, and fun to ride, especially in urban environments where quick acceleration and sharp handling make a big difference. However, just like the Classic 350, the MT-15 also has its own reality. Comfort is not its strongest feature. The seating position is more aggressive, and while it feels great for short rides and city use, it can become uncomfortable on longer journeys. The seat is narrower, and the overall riding posture puts more pressure on the rider compared to the relaxed position of the Classic 350. The pillion seat is also not very comfortable, which makes it less suitable for carrying a passenger regularly. Another difference is the road presence. The MT-15 does not have the same visual impact as the Classic 350. It doesn't turn heads in the same way, and it doesn't give that big bike feeling. But what it lacks in presence, it makes up for in performance and practicality. The bike is more fuel efficient, easier to maintain, and much more suitable for daily commuting. Over time, these factors become more important than initial impressions. The MT-15 proves itself as a practical and enjoyable bike for everyday use. It is designed for riders who want a responsive, lightweight, and efficient machine that can handle city traffic with ease while still providing an exciting riding experience. When you compare both bikes side by side, the contrast becomes very clear. The Royal Enfield Classic 350 is about comfort, presence, and a relaxed riding style. It is designed for riders who want to enjoy the journey at a slower pace. The Yamaha MT-15, on the other hand, is about agility, responsiveness, and performance in real-world conditions. It is built for riders who want something quick, light, and fun. This is where the concept of expectation versus reality becomes most important. The Classic 350 looks powerful but feels calm and relaxed when you ride it. The MT-15 looks smaller but feels quicker and more responsive in everyday use. One gives you comfort and presence, while the other gives you control and excitement. Choosing between these two bikes is not about which one is better, but about which one fits your riding style. If you want a bike that feels premium, comfortable, and perfect for relaxed cruising, the Classic 350 makes sense. But if you want something that feels fast, agile, and fun in daily riding conditions, the MT-15 becomes the better choice. In the end, the decision comes down to understanding your own expectations and matching them with reality. Because once you do that, the choice becomes simple and clear. And that is the difference that most people overlook until they experience it themselves.